CEO caught on kiss cam at a Coldplay concert snuggling with his head of human resources.
Just 16 seconds. That's all it took for a tech CEO to become the internet's newest meme. This guy was enjoying a night out, sitting next to a beautiful blonde, when the kiss cam at a Coldplay concert flashed them on the big screen. What looked like a simple, lighthearted moment quickly turned into something much bigger and messier. The man was married, so was the woman. And they weren't just random people in the crowd. They both worked at the same billion-dollar tech company, caught doing something they shouldn't be. But as soon as the clip went viral, families of both were thrown into crisis, and the company they worked for was suddenly facing a PR nightmare. So what really happened? The kiss cam disaster. On July 16, 2025, Coldplay was having a concert at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The crowd was enjoying every beat, and like many big events, the kiss comes scanned for cute couples. People laughed, cheered, and kissed until they landed on one particular pair. A man with his hands wrapped around a beautiful blonde woman, both smiling, until they saw themselves on a 40-foot screen. Something felt off. Her jaw dropped, her hands flew to her face, and she quickly turned her back to the camera. It seemed like both people were trying to vanish from the scene. The crowd roared and laughed as Chris Martin commented on the scene. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. 16 seconds was all it lasted on screen. Within hours, that scene was clipped and shared across various social media platforms. In a few days, it racked up 100.4 million views on TikTok. But who were these people, and why had they started acting weirdly when they came up on screen? After all, seeing yourself on a big screen is an opportunity no one wants to miss. Who were they really? The guy wasn't just another face in the crowd. He was the CEO of Astronomer, Byron. He was a tech veteran who took control of Astronomer after working at Lacework and Cybereason. He led Astronomer, a New York-based company with $1 billion valuation. Astronomer provides pioneering data ops software that helps firms like Airbnb and BMW manage analytics and AI workflows. So the guy was CEO of the company, but who was the woman with him? It turned out she worked in the same company. Kristen Kitt was no ordinary employee either. She joined the company in 2024 as Chief People Officer, the person responsible for upholding the company's values, handling ethical complaints, and setting the standard for professional conduct. Both of them were the heart of the Astronomer's leadership team. But at this concert, they looked nothing like executives. They looked more like a couple, and that was the problem. Byron has been married to Megan for a long time. Together, they were living a happy life until this incident broke out. And what about Kristen? She had also been married. Public records show that she had recently bought property with her husband, a man believed to be the CEO of Privateer Rum. So now, all of a sudden, this funny kiss cam moment became a full-blown scandal. The CEO and HR of the company, both being already married, were caught in an affair on camera. It made people angry, not just because of the cheating, but also due to their jobs. Because they weren't just interns, they were the top executives of the company. The fallout. It took just 3 days from that viral clip to corporate collapse. Astronomer moved fast, probably because they had no choice. Byron resigned on July 19, 2025. The board accepted his resignation, and their co-founder, Pete DeJoy, was named as acting CEO until a replacement could be found. And Kristen? She was placed on indefinite leave. However, her LinkedIn still listed her as the Chief People Officer. When the Astronomer was asked about this, they refused to comment on her future. They released a statement on X saying, "Our leaders are expected to set the standard in conduct and accountability, and recently, that standard was not met." But no one was buying their narrative. X users called it a PR disaster, with one user quipping, "HR lady breaking HR rules, iconic." How do you cover a scandal where top executives of your company are caught having an affair? Behind the scenes, things started to worsen. Insiders revealed employees were sharing kiss cam memes, with one saying, "We knew they were close, but not that close." People started to speculate how long they had been in a relationship. Was it consensual? To handle the situation, the board hired outside lawyers to find out how long the relationship had been going on. Then, a whistleblower subplot emerged on X. A mid-level employee had allegedly raised concerns about Andy and Kristen's relationship months before the concert. This raised even more questions. How could a company built on data miss this? Was the board blindsided, or did they ignore all the red flags? Seeing this scandal, investors began losing their confidence. According to some reports, 2 major venture funds paused their negotiations. Astronomer's reputation as a data ops pioneer was falling quickly because the people who were supposed to implement rules couldn't stick to those rules themselves. Personal consequences. While Astronomer hurried to save its image, Andy Byron's personal life collapsed in plain sight. Soon after the video spread online, Megan, Byron's wife, removed her last name from social media accounts. Then she deleted her accounts completely. She didn't post anything, gave no statement. Instead, she went in complete silence. But the internet fans were noticing all of this. TikTok and Reddit users started calling her the real victim. Old photos of her were filled with comments like, "You deserve better, and leave him, sis." And they weren't wrong. Byron hadn't just broken her trust, he had embarrassed her in front of millions. To make it worse, Andy and Megan have 2 children. While people stayed respectful of the kids' privacy, it was clear this situation had destroyed more than just a job. As of now, Megan hasn't filed for divorce, but family sources suggest it is a matter of time before it happens. Kristen's husband was affected too. They had recently bought a home together. He had mostly stayed out of the spotlight, but it's hard to imagine how heartbroken he must have been after this. This incident not only destroyed their careers, but their marriages were broken as well. 2 families, and likely 2 sets of children who will grow up with a public record of the day their parents were exposed, not just for cheating, but for doing it all in front of the whole world. The internet's reaction. If Andy Byron thought resigning would make the story go away, the internet had other plans. Because as soon as the clip went viral, memes began to appear. Mascots from multiple sports teams joined the party. People even started selling t-shirts, mugs, and tote bags with a freeze-frame image of Andy and Kristen. Reddit users also weren't backing out on this. They analyzed the angle of Andy's squat, the timing of Kristen's turn. One post with over 20,000 upvotes named it the greatest PR disaster in HR history. While everyone criticized the pair for their behavior, some stood up in their defense. But that argument didn't stick. Because it wasn't just a blurred paparazzi photo, it was a live feed from the stadium. Because in 2025, when you cheat in public, you don't just risk getting caught, you risk going viral. And once that happens, your reputation isn't just damaged, it becomes public property. Why it matters. So why do people care so much about this story? Because these weren't just random people. They were leaders of a billion-dollar company. Andy was the CEO. Kristen was the head of HR. People look up to them, followed their rules, and in the end, they went against the rules they set themselves. If the people in power can't act right, how can they expect anyone else to act on their set of rules? It wasn't just an act of cheating, it was a betrayal of their spouses, kids, and their company. And in today's world, where the internet rules the world, a small mistake can turn into a massive headline. We live in a time where honesty, trust, and good leadership really matter. So when powerful people fail at those things, it hurts even more. This story wasn't just about a kiss cam. It was about what happens when people in power forget they're supposed to lead, not hide. So what do you think? Was this just an awkward moment made too big? Or was it the internet holding people accountable? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe. Also, consider turning on the bell notification so you don't miss out on future videos like this. Until then, see ya.